Hey guys, how you going? Welcome to another episode of Fully Cichlid. Finally, I know it's been a long time between drinks, but unfortunately the realities of life have made it very much impossible for me to get another update up any sooner than this. For anyone that doesn't know me, I work in an electronics store. Christmas period is just flat out, it's work every day. You get home, you feed the fish, you occasionally clean out the tanks, and that's about it. So for me to put up another video, which does take a little bit of time for me to do, to obviously record it, edit it, get the fish tanks looking good so that everyone's not going to see my dirty fish tanks in a state that I don't want you to see them in. Not that they ever really get that bad. So here we are. A lot has happened since my last video and a lot has changed. So what I plan on doing today is literally I'm just going to take you on a just to have a quick look at all my fish tanks that I've got set up at the moment. We'll go through them, what's in there, how the tanks actually go, how they interact, all the fish in the different tanks interact with each other. So it might be a long video, it all depends on how much I can think of to say, because I just really want to get this video up so everything's on the fly. I haven't planned this one at all. It's really just a let's get it done as quickly as we can. So anyway guys, strap yourselves in. I hope we enjoy the ride. The first fish tank that I am going to show you now is actually my fiance's fish tank. She has decided that she wanted a fish tank and she wanted some fish. So I'm going to show you her fish tank. Alright guys, strap yourselves in. Alright, so here is the fish tank that we call the Guppy tank. So I took my fiance into the pet store the other day, or the other week, and she saw these little guppies here and thought they were pretty stunning, so we bought a few of them. She's trying to breed them. She really wants to be a mama to her little fishies, so she's trying to breed them, but nothing's quite happening yet. Also we've got a fair few neon tetras in there in the back there. So basically the setup for this tank is just a simple air pump right there, just a little bit of rock structure, small little heater there, and then of course your pump and filtration system there. We also have just some little fake plants right there. The reason I put that in is if there is any guppy fry, that's where they'll want to go. And a real plant that's looking kind of not great here. They just, unfortunately I've got one fish in here that's slightly retarded, which as you'll notice, you've seen him before. We have young Nigel in this tank as well. Yeah, we've also got a couple of corridors to help with the algae. Unfortunately at the moment I haven't cleaned it this week, so the algae's a little bit disgusting, but I'll get onto that later today. But I just wanted to show you guys my tanks in there, without having them fully cleaned and sparkling, to show that, even someone like myself who does dedicate a lot of time to cleaning his tanks, this is what they can get to if you don't leave it, if you don't clean them at least once a week, because I cleaned this tank, did a half water change on it a week ago. So yeah, that is the Guppy tank. Alright, so next I have, well, it used to be just an angelfish tank, but I've culled the angelfish a little bit, so I've only got the two left in there now, these two beautiful fish right here. So apart from that, I've got a few different species in here. I've got a couple of Gourami, which are really nice. There's my two Gourami. Hello guys. And I've added this little electric yellow, which is probably the most beautiful fish I have ever seen. Very personable, likes to come up and say hi. And then of course the three corridors in there, and that's this tank. So for this tank, exactly the same as the last tank in the actual setup of it. So just your standard LED light at the top there. You've also got just a normal pump there, but this one I've got a few more live plants, one there and one there, and they seem to be doing really well. And then I've just got this little fake photo bomb, this fake little rock structure in the back, which I think looks pretty cool. Pretty happy with this tank. This is probably my favorite to just sit and watch, purely because the different fish I really like, and they're just all very personable fish. They'll always come up and you know, say hi to me, and I love feeding them. Unfortunately, the gourami are not very smart, and whenever I hand feed them with some frozen food, they'll always come up and just suck on my fingers, not realizing that there's food in my fingers. But no one ever said gourami were intelligent. So there we go. Again, I love this one, and as I said before when I first set it up, right next to my workstation there. So I've still kept this tank exactly where it is. Yeah, very, very proud of this tank, very happy with it. And of course, last but not least, this is my big tank that I've been promising to show you for a long time. I know it's nowhere near as big as a lot of people's tanks, but I don't live in a particularly large house, so this is easily the biggest tank that I could possibly fit in this. Alright, so in this tank I have only 3 different varieties of fish. Of course, I've got my Jack Dempsey's. I've got 5 of them. This one in front of us right here is a bloke I like to call Head. Sorry, that one there's Head, because you only ever see his head because he's always hiding. Again, they're very personable fish. They do like to come up and say hi to me, so I'm going to get photo bombed a little bit. Inside of, we're not going to be able to see him today, but inside of there is a just a common pleco. He's a really cool fish. Obviously with my electric yellow, he's probably one of my favourite fish. He comes out at night times and just loves to sucker on the walls. And then over here I also have 2 albino Oscar fish, who are actually bigger than the Jack Dempsey's, but for some reason seem to be a little bit more afraid of them. Here we go. So that's my big tank there. The weird thing about this tank is the most aggressive fish in this tank is obviously the Oscar fish and the Jack Dempsey's, and then obviously the pleco. But unfortunately everything's the other way around in this tank. The Oscars are scared of the Jack Dempsey's and the Jack Dempsey's are scared of the pleco. So they sort of haven't got their roles completely right yet, but that will happen. Alright, so the setup in this tank is pretty simple. I've got your standard submersible filter right here. Bit of glare, so we're not really seeing much, but there's your standard submersible filter. I've got one heater and then another heater here. I've also got just some cave structures. I've also got in the back, I've got a dual outlet air pump, which I've got one hidden under there and then one hidden in this little bit of structure right here. So I've got some real rocks, I've got some fake logs, and I've got a real plant, which is, it's come up because the Jack Dempsey's kept trying to pull it up, but it actually is still in there and it's still doing really well. So that's that setup there. Again, I'd love to say it's my favourite tank because it's the one that I've really wanted to set up, but just due to the fish in there, they're not a hugely colourful fish, any of them, unless the Dempsey's are at night time and they get really, really blue when they come out. But it is really fun to feed. I still feed these guys by hand, even though every now and then the Oscars will nip the fingers. I think it's worth it, just to have that interaction with your fish. Really important. I'm not the kind of person that will just throw some pellets or some flakes in and let them eat. I really like to sort of get up and close personal with my fish. Another thing on this tank, which is really, really was one of the worst things, was me and my fiance. We went to a New Year's party, and we stayed over the night. And as you do, you come back the next day, and the first thing I do whenever I come home is I check on the fish. Counted all these guys out. Yep, there's the pleco, there's the 5 Dempseys. I only see 1 Oscar fish. You can only see 1 of them. So I'm looking around, and he was nowhere near. So I popped behind here, and unfortunately, there he was lying on the ground right there. He didn't look very well at all. He was dried up, he was shriveled up, he was... Yeah, I thought he was dead, honestly. So I picked him up, thought, oh no, and then his mouth just sort of went... That's my fish. That's how I imitate a fish. So I yelled, get into action, get into action, action, action. We need water, we need water, we need water. This fish is going to die. So we got it into a saucepan full of water, moved all the tetra out of the tetra tank that I've shown you, and Nigel, that's why they're in the guppy tank now. Put him in that tank over there. He wasn't going to survive. He was floating down. He was not doing well at all. But the next morning I woke up and he was full of life again. So within 2 days, he was back in this tank. And yeah, happy days. Happy, happy days. So, alright guys, that is the journey so far. I hope you enjoyed looking at all my tanks. I hope it's given you a little bit of inspiration if you want to get something going as well, which is all that really took for me, was just a little sort of niggle, and then I got sort of bit really, really hard. So at the moment I'm in the middle of doing a few things in my personal life, such as organising my engagement party and hopefully moving in the next sort of month or 2. So I'm not sure if there's going to be a lot of videos. I'll just try and keep us updated. Jump on my Facebook page. I'll always put photos of the fish and how everything's going. So I'll hopefully get another video up really soon, and then I might have to go on a slight hiatus. But if the move goes through, then it'll be full guns blazing. I have half a shed and plenty of room to set up a lot of fish tanks. It's a very well, it's a large house as opposed to this one, which I've got no more room other than these 3 fish tanks, and I really don't have room for these 3. But my fiance is ever forgiving and ever encouraging me to pursue what I enjoy, which is the hobby. So I'm really lucky in that sense. But when it comes to fighting for space in the new house, I don't think she'll be as forgiving as she has been. But we'll see how that goes. I might even film a few of the arguments for you guys. But yeah, so that's all I've got today. I'll hopefully be back hopefully within the week with another video. The next video I want to do is just showing me feeding my fish, actually, because I really enjoy it. I think you guys will really like it too. So yeah, that's it for me. Peace out. Remember, keep on fish keeping. If you've got any suggestions or anything like that, if the move goes through, you want to see a certain tank or a certain setup or a certain fish, let me know, because I will endeavour to do it, because I've got a few ideas, but I've got space for a few more ideas. So yeah, definitely let me know, and we'll go through it. So yeah, again, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, hit the subscribe, hit the little bell with your notifications. And I'll see you very, very soon, hopefully. Goodbye.